The Toronto Maple Leafs have placed John Tavares on injured reserve. 3 straight losses, shellacked in all 3. Now their second leading goal scorer is going to miss at least the next 3 games. Marty, the Leafs were already struggling to get the Matthews line off the schneid. Now their second line just took a major hit. On a scale of 1 to 10, where 10's the worst, how much trouble is this Leafs team in right now?
I'm going to say they're about a 6 right now because they were already looking for depth in the middle of the ice. You know, they have Matthews and Tavares when you're healthy, but I think they were looking for a third-line center just in case Matthews has to miss some time and to be able to go ahead with the Florida and the Tampa and, you know, the Carolina and the teams that are going to be strong in the playoffs in the spring in the Eastern Conference. But now that Tavares is going to miss some time, not only do you have to consider, well, Nylander's only got 1 goal in his last 11 games, so you have to get him going. But what if Matthews missed sometimes? What if Tavares is not 100%? How does that leave you down the middle of the ice? You got nobody there right now. So I think it's concerning. Now, the Leafs still have a very good roster, and I don't think it's going to affect the bottom line. They're still going to win some games. They're still going to make the playoffs. But it's not just about making the playoffs with the Toronto Maple Leafs. It's about going as far as you can and potentially winning a Stanley Cup. So I think it puts a little bit of a wrinkle right now, knowing that Tavares may never be 100% this year. And Matthews, well, he's always a question mark with his health. So now that makes maybe you have to get 2 centers and not just 1 to help with your depth.
All right, so now what? The Leafs only had an optional skate today, so we're not really sure what they're going to do with their top lines going into tonight's game against the Devils. What do you think the line should look like?
Well, I think right now you got to consider that Matthews, Marner, and Nyes was probably the best top line that you've had over the little bit here. So I would stick with that and hope that maybe that gets Matthews and Marner and Nyes going, and then you can score. The problem with the Leafs is that they've given up way too many opportunities and goals over the last little bit here. So can they play well defensively? Can the rest of the Toronto Maple Leafs play well defensively? And can that top line get going? And I would consider at times saying, okay, we're going to go Matthews, Marner, and Nylander, a little bit like the Edmonton Oilers are going to do when they want to load up McDavid and Draisaitl. We've seen that with Crosby and Malkin. You got to get Nylander going. So maybe you load up at some point after a penalty kill. You say, okay, we're going to go with Marner, Matthews, Nylander for a couple of shifts and hope that it gets the offense going. But defensively, they have to be way better.
You've been in a room when a guy like Tavares has gone down, then you throw in the fact they were already struggling. This is a team that's been a little fragile when they faced adversity in the past. Are they any better prepared to face adversity now under Craig Berube?
Yeah, I think they're better prepared. I think that Craig Berube is the type of coach that is going to focus on systems, that's going to focus on team concept, not so much individuals. Now, I know that he's had that conversation with Max Domi during the practice yesterday, and he needs more out of Max Domi. He needs more out of Nylander. There's individuals that are going to have one-on-one meetings with Craig Berube, but I think at the end of the day, it's about how do you play as a team and how can you get through it as a team. The cliches are always next man up mentality. Well, you know what? The better teams have that next man up mentality, and they're able to overcome it, and then it becomes a bonus when those players come back and are fully healthy. Can the Toronto Maple Leafs find that next man up mentality, which they found when Matthews was injured and they played so well without Matthews? Can they do the same thing now without Tavares?
There was a positive sign at Leafs practice facility today, Marty. Anthony Stolarz is back on the ice for the first time since he got hurt 5 weeks ago. The original timeline was supposed to be 4 to 6 weeks. You played net in this league. You had to come back from injury. Even if he is healthy right now, given the fact he's only started skating, how long before he can actually play a game?
Well, I think it could be about a week to 10 days. You got to go through some team practices, a little bit more stress on your body to know that you are okay with that. And then you have to look at the schedule. Is there a spot that fits best for Anthony Stolarz to come back? Now, I look at Joseph Woll also and saying, okay, well, have we put a little bit too much on Joseph Woll's plate of late? You look at his last 4 starts, giving up 15 goals in those 4 games. So you say, okay, maybe it is time now that we have to ease up on Joseph Wall and return to that tandem that we had with Stolarz and Wall and was playing so well. So, look, I think you probably are still a week to 10 days away, but you may want to rush that if you really need Stolarz and if he tells you that he's ready to go.
There is some good news for the Leafs. Jake McCabe, who's been on the IR since smacking his head on the ice during a fight with Flyers heavyweight Garnet Hathaway about a week and a half ago, said he's fully ready to return, so he should be back in the lineup tonight.